So this is the graphic card that we've all not been waiting for. It's the RTX 5060 Ti 16GB variant. Whatever opinions or sentiments that I'm going to share is not reflecting on the AIB partners. My opinions do not reflect what MSI, what Zotac, what Palit, what Asus, Gigabyte modus operandi is with their 50 series launch. Whatever I'm saying after this reflects directly upon Nvidia with their 50 series set of cards. So I've understand that most AIB partners have received the chips, have received materials from Nvidia directly, and they've made the best given the resources that they have. So this is not for the AIB partners, but it's directly to Nvidia. So as you all know, that the 5060 Ti is powered by Nvidia's Blackwell architecture. Yes, Nvidia has implemented a few upgrades that are quite deem-worthy, but they don't really stand out because of the pricing structure mainly. I'm going to talk about the price later on and we go through the specs of the 5060 Ti graphics card. But the performance difference from the previous generation or the generation before that is not that magnificent to warrant an upgrade for majority of users. You guys have seen the Steam hardware survey. 26 to 30% of individuals out there are actually still on the 60 series of graphic cards from older generations. You've got people using 1060s, 2060s, 3060, 3060 Ti's, 4060, 4060 Ti's. So for them to actually move forward in an upgrade to this, I don't think anybody in their sane mind would actually upgrade from those cards to this, especially the 8GB variant. The 8GB variant should cease to exist at this point. This is 2025. Paying upwards of $350 for an 8GB card makes no sense. Why do I say that? If you look back a couple of 2 to 3 years back, Nvidia released the 3060 12GB at an amazing price point. You could get the 3060 12GB for about what? 1,400, 1,300 ringgit in Malaysia. That's a 12GB card. This is an 8GB variant. Sorry, this is a 16GB variant. Of course, it's not priced at 1,400, 1,300 like the 3060 12GB. But coming back to the 8GB variant, which is $379 if you were to convert it in the Malaysian market, you are going to pay about 1,400 to 1,500 ringgit for an 8GB card when a couple of years back you could get a 12GB card. So let's just put the 8GB out of the window because, like I said, it should not be existing at all at this point of time. So let's move off to the specifications of the cards. So this is the MSI RTX 5060 Ti Gaming Trio OC. This is a 16GB variant. It runs with the GB206 die. It has 4,608 CUDA cores, 144 5th generation tensor cores, 36 4th generation ray tracing cores. It has a boost clock of 2.57 GHz and it has a base clock of 2.41 GHz. As I've told you all, there will be two variants for the 5060 Ti. You've got the 16GB and also the 8GB version. The memory interface for this is 128 bits and it has a speed of 448 gigabytes per second bandwidth speed. The price for the 5060 Ti 16GB is $429 while the 8GB is $379. The few positives the 5060 Ti 16GB has for this year is mainly power draw, thermals. We're not going to touch about performance right now because the performance, like I told you, is not 50 times as what Nvidia has claimed. That's a far-fetched story because they're actually taking MFG into account, let's not talk about MFG yet. In terms of raster performance, the card actually is okay when you're actually gaming at 1080p or 1440p. I've seen a couple of reviewers out there claiming this card to be a 4K beast. Please, do not fall for that. This card is nowhere useful when you're actually running 4K resolution displays. It's not a 4K card at all. So whoever who is claiming that, they really need to actually provide substantial data for that claim. As for 1440p and 1080, you can see at the slides later on, the charts. Those are done in our in-house testings, control variables and factors. Pretty much the same way we've tested other graphic cards as well. So let me just put it out there to you guys that this is not a 4K card at all. I've got the data and statistics to back my claim. We tested Black Myth Wukong 4K with ray tracing first, and our average FPS was 29, max FPS was 31. So I decided to actually turn on MFG, hoping that the 3 frames we get extra would make it a more pleasant experience for me. And I have to say it was disastrous. It was equally as bad as the 5070. MFG, ray tracing, too much stuttering, too high latency. The overall experience was just no. Don't even bother trying it at all if you ask me. But what really caught my attention was that I decided to actually run the whole testing process in a hybrid workstation model. Running in a hybrid workstation model actually showed me that there is a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel for this card. Because of the 16 GB memory configuration of the card, it performs slightly better than previous generations of graphic cards. Mainly the 4070 and the 4070 Super. The 4070 and 4070 Super are 12 GB cards. This is a 16 GB card. So when we ran our benchmarking software for Adobe Photoshop, DaVinci Resolve and Premiere Pro, it really outpaced those cards. The 4070, 4070 Super were lagging behind this 5060 Ti. What was even more interesting is that because we're in an age of AI everything, we've got AI monitors, AI PSUs, AI pens. We saw AI pens at Computex last year. AI HDMI cables. I decided to actually test this using UL Prosion's AI software suite. So we ran a couple of tests. We did the video editing test. We did the Windows machine learning test. We did Stable Diffusion 1.5, Stable Diffusion, Excel. We also did the AI text generation benchmarks. And this card performs substantially really well when you compare it to previous generation of graphic cards, especially the 20 series and the 30 series. As for the 40 series, it was somewhere in between the 4070 and 4070 Super and the 4070 Ti. Of course, it's not going to perform as good as the 4070 Ti or the 4070 Ti Super because that's a whole different series of cards. But it did put up a good fight. And all the more why I would say this is a better card to get than the 4070 or the 4070 Super is that you can no longer find those two cards new in the market today. You can only find them in the used market. And looking at all those used pricings for the 4070 and 4070 Super makes no sense. I went around looking for a 4070 Super. A used card was fetching almost 3,000 ringgit. Bear in mind, you could actually buy the card new with manufacturer's warranty for only 3,000 to 3,300 ringgit when it was launched, and all the way up to what, January this year. Fast forward to month of April, you can only find used cards at the brand new pricing, which makes no sense to me if you ask. This card, MSI has priced this card to be around 2,500 ringgit. You're going to save at least 500 ringgit more if you go for this card than a used 4070 Super. It's a no-brainer at all when you're actually torn between the choice of a new 5060 Ti or a used card. 3 years warranty. I mean, who doesn't like warranty? You are guaranteed that the card will be replaced if there is a problem. It's not like a used card where you don't know the condition, you don't know the usability of a used card. So I rest my case on that. What I would like to actually bring your attention to here is that this MSI 5060 Ti gaming trio, although it's a 180 watt TDP card, MSI has decided to use the 12V2x6 connector. I cannot understand why they've actually decided to use that. That is the only issue I find with this card. I would have been happy with just normal 8-pin PCIe with this, but they decided to go with the 12V2. But I think it's not too bad because you know why? Give me that, please. Let me show you all why I think it's not bad. Because we have these guys. This is MSI's all-new PSU. It's yet to be released. This is the Mercedes of PSUs. It's the GLS 750. There's no AMG at the back. I wish there was an AMG. It would have been perfectly nice for MSI to do that, but I understand trademarks and copyrights. But this is MSI's new PSU. It'll be coming out soon. What's interesting about this is that it's PCIe 5.1, ATX 3.1. What I like about it is that it comes with MSI's unique yellow 12V2x6 connector. I'm sure many of you all have seen it, and you can actually check out in the B-roll I have right after this. Amazing. You know that power is guaranteed to reach your graphics card, and you will know if it's not fastened securely because the yellow will be visible, guys. Enough of this PSU. So coming back to the 5060 Ti, 16GB from MSI. So this gaming trio, like I told you guys, there's only one issue I have with it, which is the 12V2 connector, but negated by this. Other than that, I really think that this is a great card. So Stormforce fans, Triforce cooling, heat pipes, metal backplate. Beautiful looking card, if you ask me. There's nothing much I can actually say about it, but I would like, this is a moment to appreciate that this card, when I managed to actually test it for power draws of up to 187 watts, managed to keep the entire card cool at only 69.1 degrees Celsius. So I think that's a great feat for a 187 watt card. MSI has done a great job with the thermal design for this. The aesthetics, the fans, the cooling capacity, splendid. But as for Nvidia, I really think the card should be priced a little bit more cheaper than what you guys have priced it at. I hope you guys look into it because, truth be told, 5060 Ti, 5070, it's not selling well in the market today. And Nvidia knows it. Consumers know what they're actually going after already. See, if you can actually fix the price, probably the card would sell well. Let me know what else you all think about the card in the comment section below. Thanks guys, and see you all in the next one.